Nā mai haere mai and welcome to the Performance Arcade 2022 live stream, coming to you from the beautiful, if a little windy, Te Whanganui Atara, Wellington Waterfront. I'm Eva, I'm the assistant producer for the Performance Arcade, and it is my pleasure to host you and live stream audience this evening. The schedule for tonight is we're going to take a look at I Found It on the Internet, a semi-archival reenactment. And then at 3:30, we're going to cross over to the Fortune Favours live music stage, where we'll have some angry art rock from Elliot Dawson. At 4:30, we'll go through a final walkthrough of the arcade site with our production manager, Tim Sacconi. And back to the Fortune Favours stage at 4:45 for the beloved Paneki soul singer, Lewis TM, to take the stage. Then our Associate Director, Graham Frost, and our Director, Sam Trowbridge, will interview 3R, Art Chemist, and Regeneration on how these three durational works have grown and evolved during the arcade. And at 6:45, we bring the Latin beats with Chica La Cambria. And at 7:45, we bid you our final farewell from the whole arcade team. Now I've just run through what we're up to tonight. I'd like to acknowledge the Performance Arcade 2022's amazing sponsors, our principal partner Trustpower, our event patrons, the Calderemus family, Wellington City Council and Creative New Zealand, whose generous support enables us to present this incredible event. Thank you. And on to the COVID precautions that are in place to keep everyone safe and happy with this event. The site is split into two zones, so we've got the container series zone and then we've also got the live music zone. Each zone has a capacity for 100 people and there's plenty of room for social distancing. In order to enter the Performance Arcade, a valid COVID-19 My Vaccine passport is required. Zone 1 is the live music stage and Zone 2 is the container zone. If you do decide to pop down, the admission is based on a one-in, one-out basis, and it will be first in, first served. Unfortunately, we're not reserving seats just to preserve the atmosphere of the arcade. There is a dedicated crew on site who are regularly cleaning and sanitizing all surfaces. And just a reminder that all of the familiar COVID safety measures are in place. Please wear a mask, sign in, and most importantly, stay at home and watch the live stream if you're feeling unwell or meant to be isolating. That's all the official business. Now on to the art. First up today, we are taking a moment to enjoy one of our new works. I Found It on the Internet, a semi-archival reenactment by Riff Raff. Using masks, props, and a lotto machine, Riff Raff will be performing opening night speeches, artist interviews, and blasts from the past of the last 11 years of the Performance Arcade to explore how institutions and artists talk about themselves.
Good everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight on this very auspicious occasion. It's the opening of the Performance Arcade 2017 and we have got some very distinguished guests here to give some speeches. First up we have the Mayor of Wellington, His Excellency Justin Lester, and he will be followed by Sam Trowbridge, the founder and artistic director of the Performance Arcade. So everyone, please give a warm welcome to His Excellency Justin Lester.
Wow. Tēnā koe, Sam. Wow, thank you so much. Ngā mihi nui. Kia koutou katoa, no mai, haere mai, whakatau mai rau. O te iki a Maui. I do want to acknowledge my Deputy Mayor, Paul Eagle, who's just over there. Paul. A little known fact about Paul is that he has a fine arts degree, which doesn't come out nearly often enough, and in fact he's probably the one that should have the arts portfolio, but you know, that's just something I was deeply passionate about myself, and I'm happy to take that on. But Paul, kia ora, it's great to have you here. Sam, Tom, Yoa, all of those involved in establishing the Performance Arcade, you've done an exceptional job. You know, Wellington is the creative capital. We're the arts capital. And this is about what Wellington is about. It's what makes Wellington great. It's what gives us our soul. And taking art to the public, making it accessible so that everybody can be involved, everybody can enjoy. I mean, look around. It's a beautiful night. It's a beautiful evening to be here as well. Now, you'll hopefully be pleased to know that we'll be announcing as part of our annual plan, as part of our budget, that Wellington City Council will be investing an extra $500,000 into the arts this year. That's right. Give it up. Now, please, no one tell our financial controller. You know, we had to scrimp and save from other parts of the budget because we pulled together a bit of money, and that's going to be the start, and hopefully we'll get some more in the future. And I know our arts team is here right now, and they're particularly excited because at the moment we're going through a process around how we best spend that money. And we just want to make sure that the arts are accessible, that they're very visual in the city, and that whenever you arrive in Wellington, you walk around the streets, you know that you're in a creative capital. You can sense it as you're walking around. So yeah, also that anybody who wants to be involved and who is an artist can be paid to live and perform in the city. So I'm looking forward to that, yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Give it
Yes!
up. Yeah, we're going to be renowned for the arts. It's going to be an attractive destination for many, and long may it continue. Kia ora.
Yes! Kia ora, Justin. Thank you so much. And thank you to you and your whole team for their amazing support of this event. Since its very beginning, the Wellington City Council has supported this event every year it has run for the last 7 years. And I didn't imagine that when I started out, I cut these letters that you see on the front, the Performance Arcade, out of twin wall plastic. And I sort of made a call when I was cutting the plastic to cut up to 6 of those numbers, 2016. But I didn't have a 7 anymore. Because I didn't think that the event would be here that long. So it's amazing. It's just grown, and it's 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 grown, and all the people that have put their energy into the event has helped it continue this long. And I want to acknowledge all of their names, and the scale of the input is just too long. But they're all behind this event and within it, because this event accumulates the energies that are put in every year. Those energies and contributions from people remain. And so there are people here that put massive energy into this event, and I just want to thank them. David Goldthorpe, I can see you there, and I can see so many of the people that have put, there you are, David, thank you. And that's what you see. You see an accumulation of energies and more contributions each year, and I want to thank all of you for that. And yeah, it's a crazy event. I mean, we've worked really hard over the last 2 weeks to put this together, and over the last whole year to plan it, and it really just takes that much time, and it's a free event. And I mean, it's really important to this project that you guys and everybody who comes along don't have to decide to go into a theatre or a gallery or pay a ticket price. You come across the art before you decide to engage in it, and it's really important because it changes the way that we experience the arts. It is actually almost a human right, or it's just everywhere, it's around you, and sometimes you don't know you need it till you see it. And I'm really, really glad you, His Excellency, thank you for supporting this event with so much from the City Council. You've supported the arts so well with such a strong vision. So thank you for that. Oh, I want to thank a lot of other people as well, so buckle up. These are all the sponsors for this event. And if you don't quite catch them, they're on the back of these little brochures out there. But I want to thank, first of all, Creative New Zealand for supporting this event so much and helping it grow. Yeah. The funding they've given us every year. Thank you. I want to thank the Wellington Hotel, our international partners who have made this an international event. And they've brought all of these artists here and hosted them and actually allowed us to host international artists in this city. It's been a fantastic contribution to the whole program and its growth in it. The people around the world now understand what this event is, and they come to it. I can see many of them here. Massey University has come on board this year with the particular striking feature of the arcade this year is the architecture that you see around you. And that's really thanks to our architecture partners Stevenson and Turner, who have got behind this event to achieve a really ambitious for the event this year. So I want to thank them for coming on board this year to help grow the capacity of what this event can be. When we bring different organizations together, like hotels, engineering firms, I want to thank Left Field Wines, Tuatara Brewing, the trust that supported us, like the Lion Foundation, the Wellington Community Trust, the Wallace Foundation, and just recently the Infinity Foundation. I want to thank the G Scaffolding guys who've done an amazing job here as well, helping us realize the architecture here. 6 barrel sodas, 3 wise birds. Great drinks that we're serving here tonight. I recommend the cider. It's one of the best ciders I have tasted. Bitterad New Zealand, who are helping us with the sound tonight. And also the Curtis too. Yes. Oh, Footnote Dove, who have partnered with us on some of the projects we've been here tonight. Oh, so please come back to the arcade, experience it on various days, because the work changes. We have some containers which rotate different works in them sometimes, and we'll just be tweaking things and adding things. It's a massive beast to pull together in the 5 days since Homegrown was here, and so you'll see things kind of emerging out of the scaffolding and the netting over the next few days, and I want you to really keep an eye out for those things, all right? Okay, so also, I want to thank the amazing artists that are presenting this work. We have had some amazing workshops where they've been tiled up on Skype, like a mosaic of faces talking to each other about the works. And it's still kind of tiled up in the space. It's kind of an assemblage of experiences. And it's really great to have you all here. Thank you so much for your amazing work and dedication to your projects at this arcade. I want to thank the trust who are behind me on this project to help it grow and evolve over the years, who've given me a lot of support and backing. And finally, second to finally, I want to thank my staff, because they have been busting their backs for the last 2 weeks to put this together. And it's a free event. And so, we're not well funded because we can't get ticket sales until we rely on the generosity of private giving. I really endorse you all to help us any way you can through private giving. Become a patron, become a donor, so you help the staff do what they do, or the crew supporting the artists do what they want to do. I really want to acknowledge with that crew. They are hard work. They are late nights. They're there after the artists have left, there before they arrive, and they include Yelda Avian. Where are you, Yelda? There she is, our associate producer. Oh, she's been an amazing force. Keely McCann, who, is here late at night, early in the morning. She's an amazing force, and I don't know how I'm going to do it without her. I'd like to thank Johan. Yes, his amazing work as the digital director of the arcade. Alex, Sawika Ritchie, posing beautifully in the architecture over there. She has worked massively hard, not just as an architect, but also in the details and realization of the project in all its layers. I want to thank Censored, my Censored, who has been an amazing force in the project, developing a vision for the online strategies alongside a lot of the other team, focusing mainly on Censored and also on the ground here. So thank you so much, Censored. A whole team of people as well, including Thomas Friggins, our new director of music. Here we are going to enjoy some amazing sounds on the stage with our previous director of music and our edging team. It's going to be a really beautiful handover tonight with these 2 directors of music on stage tonight. There are many I'd like to thank on our long list of volunteers and other staff who have made this happen, and they are all here. They are still working. They're still looking out for this event. Marcus McShane has put aside so much time to do the lighting. So thank you, Marcus. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lux team, for coming down, putting down your notebooks, and coming down and actually making the arcade happen. There's just such a wonderful community behind the arcade. And finally, I would like to recognise two organisations and people who have been behind the arcade for a very long time. And I just want to acknowledge them and give them the recognition. And the first person is Martin Robinson. Everyone give a hand for Martin. Everybody knows who he is because he puts down these containers every year. I've been to festivals elsewhere in the world where they've struggled to put down containers that he would find so easy. He's a craftsman and so dedicated. Is Martin here?
No, I don't think so.
He's probably out in his truck somewhere. Now, I had some gifts for Martin. Maybe, do you want to go and get Martin? Because it's kind of, it's important. Tell him it's important. It's his moment to shine. Now, the other organisation I want to thank is the Bolton Hotel. Okay, the Bolton Hotel have supported us since 2012. They've allowed us to bring international artists together with local artists here and actually show them amazing work from around the world. So where is Warwick? Where's Angus? It's been 5, 6 years. Oh, Warwick Angus, everyone, owner of the Bolton Hotel, President of Rita Angus. I'd just like to give you a small token of our appreciation, Warwick. Are you ready? Okay, it's coming to you now, through the portal.
Yep.
Have you got it?
Oh, thank you so much. Wow.
Right, favorite True Rich Light. And with that, it seems like the best, okay, oh, wait! Is Martin there? Is Martin Robinson there? Yeah! Oh, yes, everyone, give a hand for Martin! I'm so glad you're here to just take this small token of appreciation from us.
Hello.
Here it is, it's coming to you through the portal.
Oh. Got it. Thank you.
And with that, I would like to announce the Performance Arcade 2017 open! Woo!
Yeah. Oh my goodness, thanks Sam. That was a heartwarming speech.
It was a
Wow.
marathon, wasn't it?
Yeah. Goodness.
Well, now I believe it's time to move on to the magic ball section of our performance.
It's that time
Is
of
that
the
right, Daphne?
that time of the night. We have a lovely volunteer with us. I believe her name is Eva.
Amazing. So this is a lotto machine that Daphne has made with their own hands on a shoestring budget.
Sure have.
I'm showing great ingenuity using a shop vac.
Oh, thank
It's come
you.
all the way up from Palmerston North to be with us. And you'll see inside it are 20 ping pong balls with the faces of artists that have been associated with the arcade this year and previous years.
That's right.
So if we just get that machine
I'll fire it
revved
up. Yeah, I will.
it's pretty powerful. Sometimes it gets excited and spits out more than one ball at a time.
So Eva's going to help us out here. So when the artist
Thank
pops
you,
up,
Eva.
yep.
See those hands ready.
Yep.
See what the
It's gonna
machine
be
gives
quick.
you.
It's going to be really fast. Sometimes multiple balls come up at the same time, so you never know what's quite going to happen. Oh, we've got one. Oh, hang on a second.
Who have we got?
Oh my gosh, we have Steffi Weissman,
Oh, Steffi Weissman.
German
She's
performance
been a popular
artist.
choice for the
She
machine
has.
over the arcade.
Oh, thank you, Eva. Perfect. Should we have a bit of an intro about Steffi, Li Ming?
Yeah, absolutely. So Steffi Weissman is a German performance artist who came to the arcade all the way from Berlin in 2018. And she's a sound performance artist, and she made this incredible tool belt.
Yeah.
Well, she calls it a lap strap, but it's a customized tool belt that's got amplifiers, sensors, microphones, sound recorders all attached to it. And as you can see, Daphne has made a wonderful simulacrum of this tool belt that they're wearing right now. We've actually made tribute artifacts for each of the performances that we talk about.
That's right.
So up now is a video interview of Steffi Weissman talking to host James Nikise that we reenacted ourselves. So Enjoy. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Li Ming. Let's hear from Steffi and James. Hi, welcome to Counter Narratives for the Performance Arcade at Toy Poniki. We're going to be talking to Steffi Weissman in Germany today, so let's give her a call and ask about her project, Lapstrap. Hi, how are you, Steffi?
Good. Yeah, it's evening here in Berlin.
Is it cold too? It's midwinter there.
Yeah, it's the coldest time.
So tell us a bit about your own hand-built tool belt.
Yeah. Yes, it's really kind of a do-it-yourself technology made. The idea that I had to create an instrument or something that I can move with sound, make with sound on my body, so that I have like everything with me, amplifiers, microphones, and controllers, and that I can move in between the audience, outside, inside spaces, so I use this. I sit here. You see it here in the background. I use a tool belt that you have a carpenter's belt, you know, and.
So is there something there about saying some kind of commentary about the kind of sound that you hear every day around the city, around your space? Like I'm conscious that we've got builders in the background today, which I can occasionally hear. I'm not sure if it's coming through to you.
It's not coming through. But you're right. I'm working with field recordings of different places, and when I react on everyday situations and transform them or switch from the audio side, when you are at a certain place, I start to transform it when I use my recordings, but then mix it with the situation itself. It's like a montage. Sounds, voices, and also interactions. People like start a dialogue in a certain moment.
Is it also a sense of empowering? So you're sort of empowering the people that you're encountering as well, giving them a sense of wonder?
Yes, some people are a little bit afraid because it looks a little bit dangerous, and the instrument itself and also how I behave is not so predictable what I do in the next moment, but it makes people also very curious, and it's always a kind of in between the situations. It's very funny because I start to record something and then I manipulate the recording in a way and make a sort of instant composing out of it, and it kind of starts a certain story. But sometimes the people follow me and react. Sometimes it turns into more of a musical composition. So it's a really in between composed piece and improvised piece.
Is it trying to sort of build something for the audience? Like, are you trying to leave them with something when you're finished, or are you just trying to let them experience something?
It's a bit, I like the situation that it's somehow it's on a certain level, it's prepared, but there are a lot of unexpected moments, and also the instrument itself, it's, if I cannot control it 100% because there are so many things that I have to do with it and the mixing and sometimes whatever effects coming, or I play with it in a musical way and I play with the audience and there is, it's a constant, kind of forming the moment. I like that it has a certain risk, that it's not really always under control totally, because I think that we are kind of trained so much to control everything. So our society is, so modern society is so much you want to be perfect in everything, and you train yourself, and you want to be in control of everything. And I think it's very good to throw yourself and maybe also the audience into situations where this control is a bit like not there always, and it's a question, really irritating. It's something I like to do as an artist. So that's what I want to create as a situation.
So you're sort of jarring them out of the everyday. Yeah. And are you getting amazing responses, no matter where you are?
Yeah.
Difference. You say you're going through Europe. You found in different countries you're getting different responses, or are you getting similar responses that you see no matter what the country?
It's never the same, the performance, so it will be very interesting at the Performance Arcade that I perform this piece so often, because normally, at a festival or performance evening or exhibition or concert, it's different situations, but I just perform once, and Performance Arcade I must perform, I think, 8 times.
8 times?
So, so every day twice, and I have a chance to develop, from day to day, to use materials or to use my experience from the day before, or to I think I will get to know the area, around the containers, and to play with it. Maybe play also with other art artworks, to create perhaps maybe something from the discourse, what's there,
Well, that's all we've got time for today, Steffi.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We're really looking forward to seeing the work in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Ka kite.
Bye-bye.
That was Steffi Weisman, dialing in from Berlin, and you can see more of her at the Performance Arcade. And that's all from us today. Ka kite. And we're back. Thank you, Steffi. That was fantastic. So I think we've probably got enough time for maybe one more interview, Li-Ming. What do you think?
Hi.
Hey.
It was.
Yeah. Enlightening.
I think we do. We've got time to. Oh well, we've got time to do another magic ball moment anyway.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah. So let's get that machine up and running again.
Yep, let's do it. But
The ball machine.
does Eva know how it works now? Do you want to switch it on? I think you know what's up. Our lovely volunteer and host of our live stream at the Performance Arcade 2022,
Eva. Yeah, let's get that machine up and running again. Look at those balls go.
Alrighty, what are we going to have
Give
now?
up this time. Who can say? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Only the stars know. Oh, what have we got? Oh my god. Okay, maybe get a spare one. Yeah, great. Okay, thank you. Eva. We're very
Thank
lucky
you, Eva.
actually. We have Brian Harris and Raywin Turner on this ping pong ball.
Oh, okay, it's very timely.
Yes.
Because they are here at this year's Performance Arcade, just a couple of containers over.
Yep.
And they've come down from Auckland to put on their piece, The Waiting Room, which is a combination of smell, of sound, of visuals, kind of based on experiences of the pandemic and using Raywin's skills as a perfumer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, let's hear what they have to say about that project. Thanks, Li Ming. So we've got Raywin Turner and Brian Harris.
Well, guys, I was very curious if you could maybe describe briefly to us what it would be like to experience your piece that you'll bring to the Performance Arcade, like as a viewer coming into your space.
Well, they can expect to wait around. It's called waiting room. Just sort of sit down and wait, and there'll be ticking. I can't really sort of give it away too much, but ticking of clocks and
Releases of smell.
Releases of smells, different smells that that are related to parosmia, which is smell distortion that people are having with COVID. Some people are having with COVID. There's about a certain percentage of people have smell loss, and of that percentage, there's a 10% will have parosmia, and but don't quote me on that.
Can you describe what that is? So what happens when people have smell distortion?
Well, all their favourite things like coffee and chocolate and the food that they love will smell like sewage and mould and wet dogs and sickly feet stuff. So the smells related to that.
I don't mind a wet dog.
Yeah,
I was just going to say the same.
a mold smell. And you'd think it would be really easy to recreate, but it's the bad smells are actually quite difficult to do.
Do they come out of these bombs?
Great, I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, that's what they come out of.
Oh, wow.
Electronic
They got things
things
that,
and filters and
Can you hold it up?
we've made.
oh yeah, it's like a bicycle pump without a handle.
It's a smell dispenser.
Hmm.
And did you make those?
You can see the smell in there.
Mm-hmm. And
That's the pink smell. It goes in at this end. You can't see in there.
Can.
The air goes in, the pink smell comes out of it, and it's propelled by these little things here.
What are those?
They're fans. Fans, and then there's another thing underneath. There's another, the ticking of the time bomb. There's another thing that goes underneath that.
So you're very much manually trying to recompose these smells.
we'll make them up. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So Raywin, how long have you been practicing this craft of perfumery? Because we have wonderful videos you sent us of all these it looks like you've got hundreds of bottles.
Yeah. I have been working with smells since 1999, when I first started doing concerts for the deaf and disabled. and then with symphony orchestra, and then I've just developed it since then.
What are your hopes and fears for Performance Arcade? That's our finishing question.
How ridiculous it is.
Yeah, it's got to do with fear that we'll spend all of our money on that we haven't been able to get any funding apart from seed funding. And so a lot of the seed funding, we've spent a lot of money on materials and we haven't been able to get any more for our accommodation in Wellington. So that's one of the fears. Someone
That's
will,
a distant,
yeah, I know,
not
but
an
someone will
existing.
kick over the exhibit and go, this is trash. Because
It is risky having a harebrained idea and
presenting it,
and
yeah.
exposing it in this sort of way. But that's,
Yeah.
we've done it before, and we're still here, you know. There's another thing too. There's a clock that whizzes around in a sort of completely senseless way.
Oh, wow.
That goes on the wall.
Also,
So that sort of operating. That should be going all the time, sort of waving itself around. But it does it in a way that's, I find interesting. The way that the kinetic movement of it all is sort of interesting.
yeah, it's a chaotic double pendulum.
And there are 5 other pendulums that are all going at the same time. And so there's also going to be the sound of the ticking, some sort of syncopated ticking.
My
Hi. Awesome. So, yeah, you still there? I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yeah, can you see me? You can't see
I
me.
can see a visual, but I can't see you. Just your background and some masks.
Weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe you're frozen, I'm not sure. But maybe.
Hang on, give me a sec, give me a sec.
Yeah. Oh, that's better. We can see your name. Just guess the rest. Yeah.
You know what?
What?
I know what I did.
What?
Here we go.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Hello. We missed you.
We're still live streaming.
We're still live streaming. These guys, they love us.
Incredible.
They're not ready on the stage, so
We got time.
baby.
How about we do the opening speech in reverse?
We could do opening speech, or
Let's do
we
it.
could take them on a tour of the container.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we can talk about the artworks. Great idea. Okay, so let's start. Yeah, do you mind? Is that all right with the camera? Yeah, awesome. So Li Ming, I'm just going to show them. I'm showing them the sensing of the stranger wall. Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So this is a
So
piece.
this, yeah.
Go for it.
This was based on by 2018 artists Olivia Marhood and Poppy Serrano, remade by Daphne. And this was a piece. The fake hands here were actually real hands. So this life-size wall with their hands, and it was kind of like an experience and touched without being able to see someone's face.
Yeah. Performers had the option, depending on how the day went and who interacted with them, to actually retract their limbs if they wanted to. So, yeah, it's quite a lot of options there for them, not just for the audience. In this part, I just want to point out this little area. So we've been using this section here as a magic portal to transport gifts between our current situation, the Performance Arcade, and Li Ming's set over there in New York. So we're actually able to hand over physical objects through this portal. So yeah, next up, maybe we'll show you Lin Lu's artwork from 2018. which is just up on this wall here. I don't know if you can see this.
The wig.
It's the wig.
So yeah, Lynn Lowe was a 2018 performance artist also, and she did a piece called Humapui Rising. And so inside that photo frame, you can see documentation of her piece. So she spent time floating face down in the harbour, wearing this floor-length long black wig. So, and there was spoken word played out of the speaker between her legs, which people could kind of hear, but kind of couldn't hear because it was under the water. So yeah, that's the performance artifact of that piece.
Yes, I also recently heard, Lee-Ming, from Graham that piece, to actually make it happen, because she was face down in the water for the entire performance, and they had to build some sort of contraption underneath, and she had like an oxygen tank that helped her breathe, which was pretty fascinating to think about the logistics of that work, because can you imagine?
Yeah,
Well,
it's good to get that inside information.
Yeah.
Should we have a look at the merch? The
oh yeah, which one?
The mouse pad and the mugs.
Oh, sorry, I'm going to go back over here. Yeah, absolutely. So this mouse pad here, I don't know if you can see this, it's a man with spectacles on, and underneath it says "The Power Behind the Throne." And this is the Associate Director of the Performance Arcade, Graham Frost. Mouse next to
Who
it.
has actually kind of been our main point of contact, and I think with all the other artists, he's done an incredible job.
Yes.
So we wanted to give tribute to Graham.
Shout out. Yeah, he's been great, and we've just adorned what someone else came up and described as the Graham Shrine with these mugs, which have designs from the current Performance Arcade logos and design work, which who's been making that? Sam Timmings has been designing that this year, so thanks Sam. And then maybe, I mean, we've also got a few t-shirts over here, but I'll just take you over to this side of the stage because we've got a few other exciting artworks. I don't know if you can get past this little section, but over here we have a remake of Suzanne Tamaki and Geoff Ray's work. What was the title of that one, Lee-Ming?
Sure, absolutely. So they did a AR piece, augmented reality piece, where people could walk around with their phones, and if they came across the right QR code, certain taonga would appear. Taonga from Te Papa, just across the way, so that was important, the distance. And the taonga, so I just made, this is the fake phone, but this is what you would have seen if you were at the Performance Arcade using the app 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I guess it's important, it was funny to learn from their interview that these taonga, though, that they captured were fakes, I guess, for various reasons.
Yeah, really fascinating. They looked really high res too, didn't they? Especially for 2018. And over here also...
And the app still works, actually.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, what's it called?
Yeah, I used the app to get that shot, so...
Okay. What's it called? What's the name of it?
I can't remember, sorry, but the company's called iSpark.
iSpark. Okay, great. Next to here, we've got, just right next door, we've got a reenactment of Adam McCallavey's project, which was called, is it The Machine, I believe, where he...
Yeah, The Machine.
Yeah. And he was wearing this latex suit that was filled with oxygen, but over the course of the performance, he would be breathing in just that self-contained oxygen, and the latex would kind of shrink wrap close to his body and, you know, sort of define all these outlines. So, you know, for an audience, it was quite distressing, wasn't it, Lee-Ming? It sounded kind of...
Yeah, well, if you watch the documentation, he made these awful noises because his body kind of went into spasms. But he kind of said that was fine by him. It was just his body going into shock, and he was actually fine. But yeah, it was quite a piece. So yeah, this is a full-length performance. What do we call them? Artifact.
Yes, exactly.
Of that piece.
Life-size, kind of. I'm sure. I think he's a bit taller than that.
Life-size.
Yeah.
Beautifully made.
Yeah. And I think, is that all of them?
Now, what about the RFID tag at the top of the container?
Oh, yes, and the one next to it. Thanks. Yep, we've got this RFID tag here, which they're usually a lot smaller. You find them in things like key tags and things to boop a sensor when you go into work or whatever. This was from Sarah Burrell's project in 2018, where she put little tags, and she also did some computer programming, some stuff with Arduino, and what's the other one?
A Raspberry Pi. So she
Yeah.
got people from Wellington to bring in objects that they no longer wanted and record their stories about these objects. And then she basically attached these tags to these objects, and they activated recordings of people talking about them when people came to visit the arcade.
Yeah, which is really fascinating to hear about, actually, if you're interested in electronics and things. And that's just reminded me, because up the front here we've also got a dangling eyelash. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera there with the lighting, but this is a bit of a homage to John Jarboe, who was also here in 2018, and he brought a cabaret along, I think for one night only, potentially. And yeah, it sounded amazing. He was from Pennsylvania. What was the title of that project?
Yeah, he invited a bunch of local artists to perform as well in the cabaret. And it went for the whole arcade, and I think it went so well that he was actually invited back, I think 2019.
Yes, that's true, I heard that.
To do it again.
Yeah, and the company was called the Bearded Lady, is that right?
Yes, the Bearded Lady Cabaret. And they're actually going to do a performance, he's going to do a performance over in MoMA here in New York. So
no kidding.
He's at the big time.
Wow, John Jarboe at MoMA. Look out.
Have we got time to look at the tea towels as well?
I believe so.
That are in front of the television?
Actually, it's good that Eva's here, because these tea towels here...
Oh yes, this is for Eva. Because Eva...
Tribute to Eva.
These are our grant applications.
Yes.
Eva Johnson, who's the host of this podcast, is also a production assistant for the Performance Arcade, and she was tasked with writing funding applications to try and get extra money for us artists.
Yeah.
So,
I
made some commemorative tea towels
so
to commemorate our application and
our Mainland Foundation.
Rejection.
Yep, so this is the application. Looks very professional. We're looking very excited. And here is the rejection response that we got from Mainland, which unfortunately Eva had to read and was the first to receive. So thanks for that, Eva. That must have been an emotional roller coaster.
It was not fun.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, there's a commemorative tea towels if anybody's interested.
And we've also got the t-shirts, don't we, Dad?
Yep, absolutely. I actually gave a couple away earlier.
Hand screen printed by Daphne.
Yeah, I'd say semi-printed, semi-painted, because I messed up quite a lot and I had to fix it up. So this one, I quite like this one. It's got some little dots out there and it's a bit different. I used to actually, little fun fact, these t-shirts used to belong to Square Edge Community Art Space in Palmerston North, and I got a hold of them and I ran out of t-shirts. So by the time I made these, I printed over that logo there. But you know, the thought remains.
But it looks intentional.
Thank you.
So we're crossing back now, thanks.
Okay, I'm going to cross
And
back
there used to be
now.
more t-shirts there, but two of our visitors liked them so much that Daphne gave them away.
I did. And now we're crossing back over to Eva for the live stream. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Daphne.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Daphne and Li Ming. It was such a wonderful performance. Honestly, so stoked to see your take on the history of the arcade. Always so fun and so vibrant. Now we're crossing back over to the Fortune Favours live music stage for Elliot Dawson. He's stepping out from the guise of high-energy Wellington indie rock into a different space. Elliot Dawson plays angry art rock, inspired as much by British post-rock as it is by South London jazz. Enjoy.
We did it. Good job, man. Good job.
All right. Good. Let's go.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Elliot Dawson. I'm going to be here for the next 45 minutes. I see you, beady-eyed, standing on your hands. I feel you calling the day, standing on your hands, going nowhere, going nowhere, going nowhere, going nowhere. I see you calling the day, letting your love go to waste. I feel you, we're one and the same, letting our love go to waste. Stagnant mind, broken teeth, you used to live, but not your feet. Fragile fiends, going nowhere, going nowhere, going nowhere, going nowhere. Righteous one, you can see, you took your place in the hierarchy. The light won't catch you in the gray. You locked your time, waste away. Righteous one, you can see, you took your place in the hierarchy. The light won't catch you in the gray. You locked your time, waste away. Waste away, waste away, waste away, waste away. Going nowhere, going nowhere, going nowhere, going nowhere. Thank you. Speaking frankly, you can put your face on, patronize me. Don't it make you right? Paint the house new. That don't make it warm and dry, patronize me. Don't it make you right? They're operating my veins like tea leaves. They say it's too late. They say it's too late. Body's gone cold. Everyone went home. They say it's too late. They say it's too late. Everybody knows, but no one's there. No, no one man accounts for the maze. All is fair in love and war. Cut my heart out 'cause I'm bored. They're operating my veins like tea leaves. They say it's too late. They say it's too late. Body's gone cold. Everyone went home. They say it's too late. They say it's too late. is fair in love and war. Cut my heart out 'cause I'm bored. She don't get the scene she's sown. I'm the one who can let go. All is fair in love and war. Cut my heart out 'cause I'm bored. She don't get the scene she's sown. I'm the one who won't let go. Thank you. Works better when I don't nearly fall over at the end of the song. Shout out. Very nice to be here with you on this cloudy afternoon. At the moment I'm playing a bunch of unreleased stuff that hasn't really been played in the world before, so it's really nice. Shout out to having music at this point in time. Caught alive, I'm killing my time. Beside my brain off on a leasehold. The what is when, the when is how. Settle in for the long haul. Long haul. Long haul. Long haul. Caught alive, I'm killing my time. You never said it would be pretty. You running straight, you catching case. Settle in for the long haul. The long haul. The long haul. I wanna know why. I wanna know how. You drown me deep within your ground. I wanna know how. I wanna know why. You drown me deep within your tribe. Caught alive, I'm losing my stride. For the fourth time round, or was it 7, so the sinners say. Beg and breathe for my family name. I wanna know why. I wanna know how. You drown me deep within your ground. I wanna know how. I wanna know why. You drown me deep within your ground. Thank you. This next song, it's called Time is Love. And it is about when you read the room a little bit wrong with one of your friends. Happens to the best of us. skate and we smoke. It's a game and you know raise it some more. I will fight in your war. Pick me up on your way home. Lay into the small hours. Pick me up on your way home. I'll sleep over. Your time is love, love. Your time is love, love. Floors on display. Yeah, you love at a rate. A team and a sport for your chaotic thoughts. And pick me up on your way home. Lay into the small hours. I'll go back to your house. And pick me up on your way home. I'll sleep over. Your time is love, love. Your time is love, love. Put my worth in what I see. Run around, attention seek. Figure out what it means. I don't care what the girls think. Pick me up on your way home. Lay it to the small hours. Pick me up on your way home. I'll sleep over. Thank you. I just finished an album last week. That's really the only positive news I have for you people out there in the world. That should hopefully be coming out soon. And this next song I'm going to play is one of the songs off the album. It's called Kill the Man. Normally I would have a merry band of 4 other musicians here with me, but I'm here replacing one of our friends, Benji, who unfortunately has the COVID right now. Shout out to Benji, if you're watching. So just going to do this, obviously, by myself. But if you would, imagine 4 other people. a wandering answer, a field of foes. The path is late, they call you home. The sword you lost, your shield of hopes. The path is late, they call you home. On and on and on it goes. On and on and on it goes. Break the cycle, kill the man. On and on and on it goes. On and on it goes. Break the cycle, kill the man. Everywhere you go, your title saves you. You're swimming in the air, so I can't blame you. But you got to kill the man. Look over your shoulder, 'cause I'm coming. Everything you know is just a number, so I'm gonna kill the man. On and on it goes. On and on it goes. Break the cycle, kill the man. On and on it goes. On and on it goes. Break the cycle, kill the man. Thank you. This next song I'm going to play is called Truman, which is also from the album. Our man Ruben, bless his soul wherever he is, play some lovely keys on that. Big shout out to Ruben. Also, big shout out to everyone working the Performance Arcade. Been to a few shows over the couple of weeks and it's been bloody good. So thank you for having me, and thank you everyone for being here out in the wide world. There's a place place for you in my heart. Oh, the hard and soft parts, they're painting all the leaves, pretend we're evergreen. Don't you kneel in dust if you desire to keep your knees clean. Eyes open when you sleep. Eyes open when you sleep. The company we keep. Eyes open when you sleep. Eyes open when you sleep. The poison's in the seed. Shock therapy, self-prescribed. Hold this heaven on my mind. They're painting all the leaves, pretend we're evergreen. Don't you kneel in dust if you desire to keep your knees clean. Eyes open when you sleep. Eyes open when you sleep. The poison's in the seed. Eyes open when you sleep. Eyes open when you sleep. The company we keep. Thank you. Double down on false hope, no savior today. I'm running out of poison, but it's all I can taste. Holding out for Judas, what will she confess? The queen threw 2 parties at the same address. Choose your poison, choose your poison. Choose your poison, choose your poison. Small town, no fakes, identities on bottle caps. Two-faced, two-step down to the church. Daddy's married to the whiskey, and you know that he's still driving. I can see the shame you wash away with Chardonnay made on stolen land. I can see you blind to the mirror. You're a sinner, a sinner. Choose your poison, choose your poison. Choose your poison, choose your poison. Know the work necessitates the only thing that medicates. You see the spliff, you smoke the wine, you see your cousins drown in ice. Choose your poison, choose your poison. Choose your poison, choose your poison. Thank you. That song is called Choose Your Poison, and it's another song that is unreleased, but that is ready to go for another band that I play in called Dunes. The version we play with the band is much more rock music than that version, if that's what you're into, and that'll be coming out soon as well. I haven't released any music in over a year, so it feels real nice to have a bunch of stuff locked and loaded for when things return to normality. You will find me at the burning of the bridges. Started all with my last cigarettes. Let the flames take all that I know. I'll build my house from the ash and the snow. But it's not enough, it's never enough. 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 Nothing more to see here. You had your chance, you took your year. No more words for black holes. You're a star without a soul, but it's not enough, it's never enough. 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 Cheers. How are we going for time? Sweet. Say my prayers on a Sunday. I drink the blood. I've lived on my knees, and I rise early from sleep. Mouths to feed the Lord, don't dream the cold, it falls on everyone. The song is sung. I take my leave, the barman heaves on everyone. Judgment comes, I'm the last call and the first. I'm a man with a heart and thirst. I'm the last call and the first. I'm a man with a heart and thirst. I lay my hands on you, but you can't run to Southampton. You told yourself you'd move, but the uniform's a noose. The carpenter's curse came true. Mouths to feed the Lord, don't dream the cold, it falls on everyone. The song is sung. I take my leave, the barman heaves on every sun. Judgment comes, I'm the last call and the first. I'm a man with a heart and thirst. I'm the last call and the first. I'm a man with a heart and thirst. If I burn you, do I burn too? If I blame, does my judgment come soon? If I burn you, do I burn too? If I blame, Does my judgment come sooner? I'm a man with a heart and thirst. I'm the last call and the first. I'm a man with a heart and thirst. I'm the last call and the first. Thank you. I'm just going to play one more song. Thanks very much for having me. It's been a pleasure. Get home safe. Wear your masks. Have a good one. Is it a war if I know that you've won? Is it a game if I know what your play is? Yeah, we talk, but I don't know what you're saying. For you to change is what I'm waiting on. Heavy on my breathing, staring at the ceiling you don't know. Sitting here in silence, try to be exciting like your phone. Love, it's on the outside, odd numbers on your shoe size. Lost all hope that you'll come down from your throne. The only body in your bed. Daybreak, we come together. You need a hit, you take a breath. For you to change is what I'm waiting on. Heavy on my breathing, staring at the ceiling you don't know. Sitting here in silence, try to be exciting like your phone. Love, it's on the outside, odd numbers on your shoe size. Lost all hope that you come down from your throne. Thank you very much. My name is Elliot Dawson. It's been a pleasure.
Check, check, check. Hello, James Woods. Hello, Clem Fandango. Hey, welcome back. I'm Tim Saccone. I'm the production and technical manager for the Performance Arcade. And as we say goodbye to the arcade on our last day, I'd love to take you on one last wee look around, probably more from a technical production perspective. So probably a bit of insight that you don't normally get to see. Let's see, where can we start? We have a look at this performance space that's happening over here on the ramp. And you can see we have a wonderful performance area. We're normally projecting onto this wall at night from the orange container. And if you pan the camera around to the right and have a look, there's a truss structure that goes up in the air. And this carries vital infrastructure like power and internet to this side of the site, which is crucial to our broadcast. If we keep spinning round, you can see our wonderful COVID fencing, our waste management, and our wonderful entry station. It's all stuff that we have had to add this year in order to be compliant with our COVID requirements. Been a lot of work from a lot of people. Let's scooch up the back to the forbidden areas. It's like PA behind the scenes. Oh, and there is a occupational health and safety risk there. So up here, this is our wonderful storage container. Carries everything we need to get the arcade running. And along the side here, you can see it's the extra fencing we've had to put up in order to prevent people from crossing between zones. And the one bit of kit that we can't do without, the scissor lift. This beauty goes up to 7 meters high and is the key to getting all of our infrastructure in and up and around the event. Very, very important piece there. So let's continue our little wander. And if we start to look inside some of the containers, you can see that almost all of our equipment is all magnet based. So our signs are held on by magnets to the doors. A lot of our lights are held on by magnets to the ceiling. Really, without magnets, it provides the attraction of the arcade. And we've made a real effort this year to become very accessible to wheelchairs and other people with mobility issues. So our wonderful team have built these amazing ramps that the arcade will continue to use for years and years to come, I hope. Now, let's see what else is interesting around here. It's amazing to have the freedom of the arts and inside. Production is a very standard and normal environment, but certainly we try and provide a structure that allows the artists to express their freedom. Let's see, here's a very special bit of infrastructure for me. Up on this another truss structure, this is our middle of the whole site, and that has our radio mic antennas. So our picture may be coming through a bamboo stick, but our radio mics come on 2 antennas in the middle of the site with a whole lot of festoon lighting. But you'll notice that our festoons don't sag. They're not droopy festoons, they're very straight, and our site manager, Justin, goes to huge efforts and huge lots of safety in order to make sure that we have proper crimped cantillary wire with ratchet straps to keep everything very, very wind resistant. It's a very important part of the festival here. If we come around and we have a look, this is the rear of our structure here. The SCAF structure, which has been wonderfully designed by Amber, who's our spatial designer. Now, if you have a look at all the containers down here, they all follow exactly the same lines. So we have this, if we turn around and have a look this way, this 40-foot container you see in front of you is called the datum container. It's the very first container we drop on site, and then every other container on the site is measured out precisely, actually, to within the centimetre going from this container here. So it's quite an important container, but all the lines, if you look down the arcade, are all completely straight. They all look in the same direction, giving you a wonderful internal sense of calm symmetry. And even behind you here is a strange thing you probably don't normally notice. This is a 350 kilo block of concrete that we have to have if we put any kind of scrim on our fencings, because let's face it, this is Wellington, so without that, it's just going to end up in Schaefer's Marina, and no one wants that. Even more so, if you look over here, our entire stage and scaffold is weighted down with 1-ton blocks. So we have 12 of these around our staging, and they stop, we have engineers' consent, and it stops all of our scaffold from flying away. So another very, very important part of the arcade. And let's see if we can find something that best portrays the next thing I want to show you. It's all very exciting in production world here. Concrete blocks, chains, doors. Sneak around here. Yes. The base of the arcade, the chains. These doors weigh 1/4 of a ton, and if they swing around and catch in the wind, it's not going to be a pretty time at Wellington Free Ambulance or the emergency ward. So we go to great lengths to make sure that everything is chained fully, safely back. Those chains hold 1.5 tons, and it just adds to the safety and comfort that you didn't even know you had to feel at a container fest outdoors in the wind in Wellington. I'm trying to think of what else I can show you now. Let's see. I have some some questions that people have asked from home. Oh, here's a good one. How is the containers dropped? We have a wonderful man who's been with the arcade for 11 years, Marty Robinson. First started dropping containers for Lord of the Rings around the country when they were doing remote locations. And he is the man that spends 2 to 3 days with us, precisely landing and aiming and looking at each container. We have this stuff called dunnage, which you probably have never noticed before. It's wood that's at different heights, and we have to add all the different heights together to make sure the containers are completely level. And if you look at the containers on the end, the dunnage that we need is, of course, much higher than the dunnage we need down here. So we actually do an awful lot of pre-site measuring with lasers to make sure the containers and all the wood is completely the right height. And you can only imagine how much wood is underneath that container right on the end that still manages to be level despite being on a real ramp. So Marty is our wonderful container drop there, assisted by Justin, who's our site manager, and Mike did a lot of that this year. How many meters of cabling make this event go? We're quite fortunate to be, we have some really good suppliers like MJF Lighting in Wellington, and I would estimate they've probably provided about 6 or 7 kilometres of C-form rated outdoor cabling. So that's completely waterproof connectors, and when you're down in a place like this, you really want to make sure that all your site power is 100% waterproof, because I tell you what, we watch that rain radar and we get it all. Let's see, next question. Yes, it is my real hair, thank you. Next question. How did you make the COVID red pivot work so well? Well, I think a lot of it came down to the fact that we went through a level change from level 1 to level 2 on exactly this day, 364 days ago. So we really started this year's planning of the arcade with that notion of what would happen if we had to go through another level change. So right from the first plans we wrote, we started looking at, okay, how can we limit it to 100 people? You know, what would this event mean? Mainly because we really wanted to show people that you can still run events in the traffic light setting. And I think we've been quite blessed through government funding, and particularly people in departments like culture and heritage that really believed that the public still wanted to go to events, and that art practitioners and art suppliers didn't necessarily just want a handout, we wanted meaningful work. And I just look around, and this has provided so many staff with a lot of meaningful work in quite a strange time. What is the hardest thing about managing an event on the waterfront? Bicycles and scooters. Oh my gosh, the speeds at which people go around this waterfront is absolutely amazing. You'll notice if you look up that all our cabling, we have no cable trays. We are all, except in a few places, but we really make an effort to go up higher than trucks. And that allows us not only to run a very clutter-free event, but also an event where people aren't going to fall off their bike or their scooter because of that. But yes, the cyclists and the scooters going at speeds a lot more are a lot more respective. The best thing about managing an event on the waterfront, I have to say, are probably the council and waterfront teams that we work with. That even though you would think there was an awful lot of bureaucracy, they work incredibly hard, Helen, Fraser and Toby from Wellington Events, to really make sure that we can navigate the red tape and not only run a safe event, but also run one that adheres to all the liquor codes, the building codes, and I would be at a loss to run this event without them. What's the most rewarding thing about running an event on the waterfront? I think the reach of the people that we get. So it very much opens us up. I can think of very few other locations in Wellington where people can just walk by and engage with the arts. We're not hidden in a back street. We're not hidden, up some alleyway somewhere. We are completely open to such an area that even when I was growing up here, Te Papa hadn't quite opened yet, and this was all still Port Authority land. So I think that the fact that we are open, and we have such a beautiful waterfront, and this morning we had the Sunday markets, so we had a lot of people come and engage through that. So that was, I think that's a great thing about running a waterfront event. Feel free to mention any details about packing in various events. Well, ironically, we're actually just about to pack this out. So from 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, we'll have probably about 20 crew on site, and across the next couple of days, we will work to aim to have the last container leaving, despite everything you see, at about 3 o'clock on Wednesday. And yeah, that's so. Even though we're on our last day, my focus is very much at where are we going to be in 3 days' time. Yes, as they say in events, you load in to load out, and we are 100% ready to, start loading trucks and containers and everything like that. Is that 2 minutes? Oh gosh. What else can I say about the last 2 minutes? Is this my only link, or do I only have to do this one? All right, I'm getting the golden I'm waiting for the orchestra to play me out. Well, first I want to thank my mum and dad for having me. It was in Keneperu, which was way over the hill. No, I guess I, like a lot of practitioners, I did quite a bit of work overseas, and then COVID brought me back to Wellington, and it's been quite a journey, and the event scene have had a really, really tough couple of years. And I think almost all my work involves gatherings of more than 100 people, yet I was quite blessed to, come across this job, and this is my second year as production manager. And I can't say enough gratitude about the team that we have behind us, and that's Sabrina, my wonderful operations offsider, who, God bless, looks after all the elements of the site that I just really, waste management, toilets, all that stuff, security. God bless you, Sabrina, you're a doll. Amber and Graham. Amber, who designed the site, what a wonder. Graham as well. Bree, who put together this entire broadcast with all these host segments in 6 days. And I tell you what, having worked on some TV shows before, I've never had to host before, but I'm hosting because Bree asked me, let me tell you. And also, you know, I think this festival's built on the relationships that we've got with Audio Avenue, Moments Productions, Illumination Optics, MJF, and with the arcade, it's just such a movable feast that you can't really lock in everything with plans and direct things, because the artists, in order to express their freedom, just need as much freedom as they can get. So, yes, that's been wonderful. I also need to thank Eva, who's been keeping all our cost control, and Kate, who's been doing all the wonderful signage. When I'm not here, it's TP and Justin, who are my site managers, and Mike, who is our construction guy. And yes, and of course, our wonderful director, Sam, Mr. Truebridge, who over the last 2 years has really entrusted his team to deliver, I guess, what was his vision for 10 years. So he gave across his first baby so he could have another one. Kerry and Melody, congratulations on taking Dad away from us. We can roll back. I think I have to do a throwback to the stage. All right, excellent. Now we're heading back to the Fortune Favours. Oh, yeah, Fortune Favours. Oh, thank God for bringing the beer. Music stage for Louis TM. Inspired by modern soul revival, classic soul canon, R&B, funk and indie sounds, Louis TM brings his unique style of soul to the fold. I heard him sound check earlier and he's absolutely gorgeous. So enjoy.
This is like the start of the stream, mate. We're just all like... Okay. Are you ready? Yeah, is that us? Yes. This is on you guys. Ready, Steve and Chris?
I'm gonna do, they got nothing on you, building up all these secret games. Nothing has been said, just inside your head. One thing stops you, it's yourself. Time to spread those wings, throw those hopes and dreams. Just be true to yourself. Gonna drop it at your feet. Oh, you need a steady beat. Finally, you have arrived, but can you survive? Can't you see? It don't matter in the end. It's all I got for you, my friend. I'm gonna be satisfied. It don't matter in the end. It's all I got for you, my friend. I'm gonna be satisfied. And I testify, but not to some man in the sky. Put my faith in the ones I trust. You gotta do it for yourself. There ain't nobody else. Just gonna sit and let it walk on by. You gotta do it for yourself. There ain't nobody else. There's a problem, then it sure ain't yours. Now we're on that city street where those good people meet. Finally, you have arrived, but can you survive? Can't you see? It don't matter in the end. It's all I got for you, my friend. I'm gonna be satisfied. It don't matter in the end. It's all I got for you, my friend. I'm gonna be satisfied. Can't you see? It don't matter in the end. It's all I got for you, my friend. I'm gonna be satisfied. Can't you see? It don't matter in the end. It's all I got for you, my friend. I'm gonna be satisfied. Can't you see? It don't matter in the end. It's all I got for you, my friend. I'm gonna be satisfied. No, it don't matter in the end. I got you, my friend. I'm gonna be satisfied. No, I'm gonna be. No, I'm gonna be satisfied. No, I'm gonna be. Thanks very much. How are we all doing? We're feeling warm? Yeah, we're feeling very warm. Apart from our fingers, face, shoulders, knees, and toes. All right, we're going to play a few times for you. Say, hey baby, how you doing? We stood there on the street. Talked about what we're up to and how to make it meet. Such a sweet smile, that everlasting glow. Though he's gone now, he said something you should know. Say you got that bug and don't you regret too hard to stay up on your feet. Going from town to town, not knowing where you lead. Change it if you can. The dark days, they come and go. Yeah. But when they go now, the sun shines and shows. Oh, you got that bug and don't you regret it. Even if you try, you're never gonna shake it. Look deep inside, I know you got that music in your soul. You got that music in your soul. You got that music, baby. Yeah, play it for me one time. Say you got that bug and don't you regret it. Even if you try, you're never gonna shake it. Look deep inside, I know you got that music in your soul. Got that music in your soul. Got that music in your soul. Oh, you got that music in your soul. You got that music in your soul. You got that music in your soul. No, you got that music, baby, in that soul. No, you got that music in your soul. Got that music. Thanks very much. Yeah, great to be playing some music in front of some people, even though we're all like, you know, we're all in our own domes. But thanks for being here, and thanks for coming out. And you know, I know it's not like the warmest afternoon, but hope you guys are having a great time. Yeah, big ups to the Performance Arcade for still doing the thing. Yeah, give them a big round of applause. Yeah, do the thing. Yeah, so this is my first gig, like ever. No, I'm just kidding. I've been a keys player for a while, and I've played with a bunch of people, but this is the first time in quite some time that I've put some of my own music out there. So yeah, thank you. I released some tracks last year, back into last year, and COVID did the thing on us. Went to play the show didn't happen. So this is the first time playing all of this, like, for the first time. So yeah, so hopefully it doesn't sound too terrible for you guys. Please give it up for these amazing people behind me. This is a beautiful band that I have with me right here. I'll introduce them later. But yeah, we're going to play the first track that I released last year. Yeah, it's called Mercedes Car. Mercedes car. What the hell you gotta use it for? Why can't we all just be one and the same? You don't go far, you don't go very far. That Mercedes car. You don't go far, don't go very far. That Mercedes car. Why can't we all just be one and the same? You don't go far, don't go very far. That Mercedes car. You don't go far, don't go very far. That Mercedes car. You don't go far, don't go very far. That Mercedes car. You don't go far, don't go very far. In that Mercedes car. Thanks very much. Couldn't tell that's a song about just eating the rich. Hey, we're all doing okay, aren't we? We're all right. Hey, if you like that track, I released that one and another one that we're going to play at the end of the set, and I released them on a 7-inch vinyl, one of the little DJ ones. So if you'd like to come and grab a copy, we've got a couple sitting back here somewhere. So yeah, come and see us after the show. But yeah, did like a little mad thing in the pandemic. Decided to start a little homegrown sort of record label as well. So I've recorded some stuff with like Chris on guitar and some other stuff. Yeah, Chris on guitar, guy. Yeah. So I've done a few things like that, and there's a few different outfits around the world that have kind of started like homegrown or like little artist-run labels and stuff, and I guess I'm sort of like dabbling in that at the moment because there's too much talent in Wellington, at least, let alone New Zealand. So I'm keen to like help get some other stuff out there. It started off as that kind of my project, but I'm keen to get some more, more of that stuff out because we've got heaps of amazing musicians in this, in this town alone. So yeah, if that's anything to go by, go out to a gig when they happen because there's no shortage of really rad people out there, some of whom I can see that are here at the gig. So anyway, we're going to crack on. This tune's called Promise. another reason you find yourself still missing. Yeah. Now that I have found what is deep inside, baby, this time around I'll make a promise to myself. So much pain spreading wide, people causing pain, willing to divide. You find that space and put your mind at ease. Wait a minute, oh, there are too many people you ain't gonna please. Yeah. Money and power, so they say. If you close your eyes, then baby it will go away. You take to the streets, or riot calling with their feet. But now the world is burning, but the earth it'll keep on turning. Yeah. Now that I have found what is deep inside, baby, this time around I'll make a promise to myself. Now that I have found what is deep inside, baby, this time around, blinded by the signs, and I won't let go, trying to live my life. Oh, yeah. Now that I have found what is deep inside, baby, this time around, oh, yeah, I'm blinded by the signs, and I won't let go, trying to live my life, I'll make a promise to myself. Thank you. Wish I could save you. Seems like it shouldn't be so hard. Wish I could replace you. Baby, we could leave it all behind. Oh, I wouldn't mind. Oh, 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 a state line is 100 miles away, but I never felt so distant before. Whoa, state line is 100 miles away, but I never felt so distant before.
Please give it up for these beautiful people. We have Miriam. Dixon? Alice? Dixon or Alice? Alice? Yeah, we've got Miriam Alice on the vocals, just working out the stage now. Kaito Wally on the trombone. James Guilford on the trumpet. Nick George on drums. Steve Moody on bass. Chris Armour on guitar. My name's Louis. Hope you guys have been enjoying the afternoon. We've got a couple more for you.
Darling, how's your day been? Tell me what you're thinking. You look at me and you muster up a smile, but I see those eyes in pain. Since I saw you last time, you've been standing on a landmine. You got to believe that it's easy for me to see that I belong to you and you to me. sit here on my own, no more happy home. Things are falling down. You can go out with your friends, I'll be still here till the end. Don't you worry about a thing. Please don't hide it from me. Or am I just so blind I can't see what the trouble really is? I call it unknown. Why won't you pick up that phone? Come and be with me. Hey, there is nothing I can do. I do anything you ask me to. No matter if we're far apart, anything to make this aching heart. As I walk into the unknown, look how far that we have grown. I don't wanna be on the shelf. You got to do it for yourself. Sharpest part of your plan, and I can't stand to fall to be a broken man, but I won't let you down. No, can't let you down. I won't let you down. See me at my worst. No bottle gonna quench my thirst unless it's you, babe. No, I cannot tell a lie. I'm gonna love you till I die. That could be any day now. You said I was your prince, but you can't hold me ever since. Told me how you really feel. Where do we go from here? I've only pain and so much fear. I got no strength to carry on. Hey, there ain't nothing I can do. Do anything you ask me to. No matter when we're far apart, anything to make this aching heart. We walk into the unknown. Look how far that we have grown. I don't wanna be on the shelf. You gotta do it for yourself. Just part of your plan. And I can't stand to fall to be a broken man, but I won't let you down. No, can't let you down. I won't let you down. No, can't let you down. I won't let you down. No, can't let you down. I won't let you down. No, can't let you down. I won't let you down. No, can't let you down. I won't let you down. I can't leave you for you down. I won't let you down. No, can't let you down. I won't let you down.
Thanks very much. Man, this might bring us to the end of our show. Thanks everyone for being here, and yeah, just thanks for being you. You know, hope you had a great afternoon. There's still some more music after us, so hang around. Get a beer from the Fortune Favors down there. They're doing the thing, keeping us hydrated. Big thanks again to Performance Arcade for having us, and please give it up again for these beautiful musicians that I have with me on stage as well.
Mr. Louis Thompson, man.
Thanks very much. All right, we're going to finish with a The other track I released last year, which is on the little 7-inch that I put out. So if you want one of those, come and see us. Come say hey. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's knock it on the head.
Hit that bass out.
All right.
You don't have to ask me if I felt it too.
Yes, I felt it too.
Love that you gave me would come back to you.
Yes, I love you too.
Girl, you and I were meant to be together. Oh, you know I can't love another. You found me on my darkest day.
When the clouds were gray,
Now all I see is your smiling face.
sun that shines on me.
Girl, you and I were meant to be together. Oh, you know I can't love another. I'll never give up.
Never give up on your love.
I'll never give up.
Never give up on your love.
No, I'll never give up.
Never give up on your love.
No, I'll never give up. No, never give up on your love. Over and over, you showed me how to see what life is like, what it's supposed to be. I'll never give up.
Never give up on your love.
No, I'll never give up.
Never give up on your love.
No, I'll never give up.
Never give up on your love.
No, I'll never give up. No, never give up on your love. No, I won't.
Never give up on your love.
I won't, baby.
Never give up on your love.
Keep my feet on the ground. Oh,
Never give up on your love.
oh no, I'll never give up. No, never give up on your love. Never give up on your love. Never give up on your love. No, I won't, yeah. Never give up on your love. No, I won't, baby. No, never give up on your love. I won't, baby. Never give up on your love. No, I won't, yeah. Never give up on your love. No, I won't. Never give up on your love. I won't, baby. Never give up on your love.
Thanks very much.
It's very arcane live streaming though, isn't it? I feel like we're sort of like... Kia ora. I'm Sam Trubridge, the director of the Performance Arcade, and we're just back. I'm here with Eva Johnson, our assistant producer for the Performance Arcade 2022. And yeah, we're wrapping up the arcade now. We're in our last few hours before we close after an incredible 2 weeks. And we just want to check in with a few of the works that have been going for this whole time by these very intrepid artists who have sustained their performance for 2 weeks now and taken them to sort of really interesting places. So that's where we are now. We'll be doing this for the next hour before we have our last music performance of the event. And we'll just be interviewing a few of the artists that have been doing that. So first up, we're checking in with a group called 3R, the Performative Art Residency, which includes Yanaina Moraes, Joanna Cook, Adam Ben Draw, and Kaio Silva. And they're going to take us through one of their closing ritual performances right now. Well, that was the one of the closing performances from 3R. They'll be going for about another hour yet, but this is our last opportunity to connect with them on the live stream. And we have 3 of the 3R artists out here to talk with us now, to debrief on the last 2 weeks. And we've also John and I'm Sam Trubridge, 2 of the sort of core team members in the Performance Arcade this year. And we have Joanna, and Adam Bendraw here from 3R. Thank you both for staying here for 2 weeks and performing with us.
Thank you for having us, for hosting us.
Yeah, you've been here, like, both Joanna and Jana have been staying here Joanna and Janina have been staying here all night as well, and all day, so they haven't actually really left this space for at least a week now, because they've been sleeping in this container. And maybe I'll just ask Eva to maybe comment on her experience of the work before we go into your experiences. Like, what have you kind of seen change in the work over the last 2 weeks as someone who's been here almost every day as well?
I think like the thing that I've noticed most is just like the amount of like how you've changed the space and then just sort of very much made it your own. Also just the incredible energy that you've brought, just like even when you're wandering around, but also for the activations with like the nap time on Te Papa ramp. It's one of my favorite things to watch. And like the activation you did this afternoon where you 2 were dancing, and there was also just sort of, was it the rubbish trip? And sort of, yeah. And just the sort of amazing, like you're quite spread out, but just keeping that energy going. And that's something I've really noticed throughout this whole thing. It's just been constant, like you haven't been off for a single moment.
It's a wonderful reflection because a lot of kind of what we explore within our work is the blurring of the line between performance and life. And also we've been really pondering this question around how can we sustain ourselves and each other and our energy when we are living here and we are here overnight, and the things that arise because of that and the tiredness, but together with the networks being able to really continue to sustain our energies and our performance and our life ultimately for the last couple of weeks.
I believe you've succeeded amazingly well with that.
Because it's a residency, isn't it? That's the way you've characterised this work. Is it somewhere between a work and a process? That's the name of the work, the 3R residency. You've written a manifesto and you've discovered things along the way.
Yes, we'd love to share our manifesto with you, which grew probably on our 3rd or 4th day here. I think that's right. Which was really a pivotal moment for us, I think, within this residency of really staking and publicly sharing what our intention is and what we're doing here, and tying it up in a way that can be shared quite clearly with passers-by and quite quickly as well. I think kind of the essence of a lot. We do a lot, and to boil it down into a few sentences so that people can kind of start to grasp, I think.
And I think there is something really nice commenting that this doing a lot is actually doing a lot out of quite minimal gestures and interactions and connections mainly. So we have been thinking a lot about how do we understand or reapproach these ideas of what is to be seen, when do we witness, when are we doing ourselves, when we are witnessing that we are doing and we didn't even know, so we realize and we change our way of doing or not. So all of those questions really nourish the process and really excite us, to go expanding but also retreating and seeing this transit always in a process.
And has there been anything like super unexpected that you've just sort of enveloped into your process that you kind of hadn't intended to?
Yes.
Something that was quite unexpected. Well, we came up with a lot of like games or strategies. So one of them was we had a lot of wool, and we just started kind of unraveling it, and then it just kept unraveling, and it turned into a kind of performance called How Far Can We Connect? And it started wrapped around a security camera on the side of Te Papa, and it kind of went over the kind of walkway there and across the little lagoon or the inlet, and then we met someone who lived on the 4th story of an apartment building, and it went in his one window and out the other, and then onto someone's yacht. So and it just kind of was this kind of spontaneous game, I guess, or playing.
I think the beauty of that was that we made connections with 2 people and a person in the apartment and on the boat who became very invested in the work, and it took probably between 20 minutes and half an hour to get it both into the apartment and to the boat, and they really wanted it to happen. They were probably more invested in it than we were at that moment, which was so beautiful to be a part of and to witness this kind of unfolding. And
it's so special because with the wind battering it today, like parts of it have still remained, and you walk around and you can just see the bits of wool that have survived the night. Sam, do you?
I mean, something that I found really fascinating, and it's kind of accidental, not necessarily a recycling, is the sort of shared aesthetic with the protest on the other side of town, of this aesthetic of occupation. The sort of the text written on sort of improvised sort of placards and things. And I wondered if there's been any kind of, I don't know, anything you've discovered in that sort of relationship, which, maybe it wasn't predicted because, before, when we were developing this work, there was no protest. But has there been anything that you've noticed about that, or any observations you can have on that particular interaction across the harbour to this other assemblage, for better or for worse? Yeah.
If I can respond to that, I feel there is something quite curious about how in this work we activate the responsibility, the ability to respond, and sometimes we do respond without even noticing, and then we notice, and then we activate other means to keep responding and unfolding. And in a way, it makes me particularly think of my hometown. I come from Brazil, and we do work with a lot of states of precariousness even, and to gather and make do with what we have around. And I think this work talks a lot about noticing and giving value for what's around. And in a way, it is a kind of protest. In a way, maybe we are protesting different things, or we don't even notice that we are protesting something, but we are manifesting the importance of something that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what's happening in the other side of the town. But yeah, it does create relationships in a way. And even initiate discussion. And I think that's quite positive. So making people wonder and question and be able to talk. And be able even to say, maybe I had a little bit of preconceptions before actually noticing what's underneath, what's these aesthetics bringing. Yeah.
And I think also it just comes from, thanks. It just comes from the necessity of just being responsive to the moment. Like that sign, for example, which you can't see in the camera, but it says more art this way. And we couldn't have planned that. We didn't know that there was going to be more art that way. So it was the material that we had at hand. But it is interesting, people's reaction to this aesthetic. I don't know what more to say about it, but all I can say is actually it's really practical. If you need to hang down the bottom of a poster which is flapping in the wind, it's really practical to tie a rock to it. And then if the rock starts banging against the shipping container and making a loud noise, you can put the rock inside of a shoe, and that dampens the noise. So it's just a very practical solution, and I'd be very happy if more people adopted that aesthetic.
Yeah, it's been delightful watching it sprawl at various times and then retract too, like some kind of creature inside a shell. Like now, actually, it's quite tidy out here. But there's, there you had your jumble sale earlier in the day, or the rehoming ritual. and various other sort of events that have spilled out and stretched its tentacles all the way to the other side of many spaces here. And that's been really fascinating. Yeah, what sort of frictions have you discovered? Like, what's the best thing that you've discovered?
It's quite hard to speak about a best thing, and perhaps each one has one best thing. Particularly for me, it's the ability to connect in many different ways and to recycle these modalities of connections. So connecting through a barrier of glass that actually enables us to be really close with people that are strangers to us and that might have not experienced for so long this kind of proximity because of pandemic or because of the awkwardness of proximity. So being able to break down those boundaries, but also to enable like having the connection amongst ourselves. Like Joanna and I, we have been working for a long time, but it's the first time that we actually get to work with Adam, which we start to learn a lot like about tying things and being really like, wonderful with what we have in hand and being able to discover new possibilities and also revisit like the strings has been part of our work a long time, and now we are recycling ways to attend to those materials in a respectful and playful way.
And I think the idea of the connection that you were talking about, where it, like connecting through the glass and stuff, that also translates into like the strings connection. It translates into different parts of the activation that sprawl out, the rehoming, ritual of rehoming, connecting with people and talking to them about what we're doing, and giving someone a string and saying, can you hold this for a moment? And then they have to make the decision of, am I going to be responsible for this and stand here and hold it, or am I going to let it go? But for us, I think it ties into this idea of creating sustainable networks and realizing that we're all part of the cycle of creating waste or creating sustainability or creating in some way, but also connected in the cycle of repair, of how can we repair these networks and repair these cycles, which is a really beautiful, we had some of that feedback from the activation this afternoon, that some people really felt that, which is really amazing to know that that messaging is coming across.
Thank you very much. It's been absolutely, I'm going to miss you guys. It's going to be weird, like, not seeing you every day.
I think we've met a lot of people. We've met a lot of people because when you untangle a ball of wool and it just goes everywhere, you meet a lot of people because everyone's trying to, it's kind of out of control. Which is an interesting thing.
Something to that is like we really want to acknowledge our allies throughout the whole project. Like we have Liam from the Rubbish Trip and also the Kai Cycle with Kate. We have so many people that I will probably forget the names. We have Kayo hosting me in the first week and really working on the documentation, how the history is going to be told afterwards. Many people that Linda that we connect throughout them. So all this enabling the performance arcade to go out and other things to come in was really special. Yeah, it was really special.
Can I say one more thing? Sorry, I know we are trying to wrap up, but I just think also part of the kind of the kaupapa of the project was just embracing the messiness, that nothing was going to be outside of the residency. Whatever happened was going to happen. So you're sleeping in here and it's visible and everything's visible. Breakfast and lunch and dinner are visible. And if things go wrong, that's
visible.
That's visible, and that's part of it.
And figuring out together, it's visible.
Yeah, and I guess there has been this question or tension about how you manage that, knowing that it's in a performative setting and it's in a public space and that it is a performance, and at any time you might be being watched, or it might be viewed as a performance. It's been really interesting, and there's been so much to unravel and unpack in that. Yeah.
Just as a final thought, we do, this is a project that will be ongoing. This is the second iteration of the project, and we would like to continue it forward. We have visions of publishing. We'd like to publish some books and recreate this in new ways, turn the How Far Can We Connect into a project as well. So if anyone would like to collaborate with us or continue this sustainable network, we would love to hear from you or connect in whatever way is applicable. Yeah.
Yeah, because it is just such like a lovely and versatile project, and like just how it will change in each different space as well. Like it might be the same like ethos and like kaupapa, but it'll just keep growing and changing as in every iteration. Yeah, it'll be amazing to witness how that continues. Yeah. Sam, any final thoughts?
Yeah, maybe it's a segue to the next work we're seeing as well. But I'm really struck by your play with the word responsible and responsive. They're almost kind of become the same thing. And it's almost a really interesting answer to my question about the protest, that this work and the next we're looking at both deal with the sort of concern about the environment, which, you know, is another situation where our own personal freedoms need to be set aside for more shared concern. And that responsibility you take by performing through glass, but still maintaining that connection, still retaining that responsiveness and that immediacy that we want, we crave for, that connection, is really interesting. I think it's a really interesting kind of stance the work takes, and this kind of, playing the doubleness of what is responsive and responsible. Yeah. So thank you, 3R, for your incredible sort of dedication and determination through the last 2 weeks. It's been gorgeous watching this work bloom in various ways, and really look forward to seeing it sort of continue to manifest in other ways. Thank you. Look forward to partying later. So I think now we're moving to work just around the corner called Regeneration by Danny Collette and Not Theatre. So this is another work which has been going for the full 2 weeks of the Performance Arcade 2022. And Eva and I are going to take you into this work and introduce you to one of the artists behind it very soon as well. Shall we have a look inside just briefly to remind ourselves of what it's about and what happens in it? Yeah. Thank you, and we're back. And we're back now with Danny Collette, the designer behind this work, Regeneration. And in case you weren't sure what you've seen is a container full of deteriorating foliage and a performer hidden right at the back. And it's a reaction piece it's been described as a reaction piece to the world going into lockdown and the way that everyday life stood still and how the environment kind of performed within that time. Kia ora, Danny. Congratulations, such a beautiful work.
Thank you.
What are your favourite ways people have been interacting and reacting to Regeneration?
Oh, there's been a few really interesting responses. I think one of my most favourite parts when I was seeing a few people like stop at the entrance, take their shoes off, and then wander through and really feel the ground at their feet and touch the leaves, and then get completely spooked at the end and run out. So like it's quite interesting that I think at the sort of small moments when there hasn't been an actor in there, they've really explored and spent a really long time in there. But then I think the most exciting part is seeing the different reactions to the actor. It was like a couple that went in at one stage, and the lady got in there first and was like, "Oh my gosh, Peter, come look, it's a gnome." I was like, They're so brilliant. Like, I loved it so much. And then the partner comes in and he's just like, oh, don't be silly, it's a human. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's been cool. I know, right? Yeah. So yeah, I think that's probably the two main, like, fun experiences, yeah.
Wonderful. Have you had any observations?
I think one of like the main things is just everyone just gets immediately lost probably in like that first like 10 foot of the container, and they're just like absorbed into the world. And then they see the person who's just like working on a laptop or doing some sort of
Completely absorbed in like everyday life work, like
and like there's like quite a few instances where they've just like, oh, sorry, and like run out again because they think they're disturbing someone who's working in the installation.
Yeah, totally.
It's definitely like so fun to watch. Just and like kids as well, like
yeah, we've had a couple of little kids try to make a sand castle. That was fun. Yeah, there's been, and like I'm thinking they're going on like a lion hunt. Like, yeah, it's just really cool. I love it. People tend to get a lot more like amongst the senses as well, like a lot of touching, and like the main comment I think that everyone's made is, oh my gosh, the smell, which is so cool, because like at the very beginning I was wondering whether I should try and amplify that and add like a pine fragrance or something, but it's so not needed. Like, it's just naturally a really gorgeous smell, especially when you open the doors in the morning. Yeah.
And it sets up a really gorgeous kind of offer right from the beginning, this kind of bushwalk in a container. Like, it's quite delightful to go, oh, yes, I'll do that. I didn't expect it. I mean, much like there's these sort of patches of native foliage around Te Papa that various architects have commented on as well. But this is condensed into this very tiny space, and it's quite sort of exciting to kind of have that invitation, and then all the twists that you've described within the gnome, the deterioration and stuff.
Kind of, it's quite interesting the way people respond to it. Like, I feel like when people go for a walk around like beautiful Wellington bush tracks, they don't stop and touch the leaves, but you see it in a different environment in a shipping container, and all of a sudden you're compelled to want to like feel it and like be amongst it, right? So it's interesting to see just how like a small change in like environment, location.
And now they're all crispy. They've all been kind of toasted and sort of dusty as well.
So crunchy. I was just like, oh, I'll just touch that. But,
what do you
I
think
love
that,
it.
that means or does to the work?
I think it's just a pretty honest reflection of how hard it is to keep stuff alive in a container, really. But
exposed on the Wellington
also,
Waterfront.
It quite almost sadly reflects exactly what's kind of going on, right? But
because was that the intention?
Yeah, I think I always knew that it was going to be almost impossible to keep everything completely alive for the whole 2 weeks. But I was definitely ready for that. And I think I love the sort of the layering of the more like fresh pieces that have clearly last a lot better, and the stuff that's sort of dying away, and like the layers of that. And I think it just sort of speaks to like time passing, and like, let's go.
Because like this was, it's unrecognisable from a shipping container as well. Like the amount of like construction that's gone in to make this really seamless effect. Like, do you want to talk a little bit about how like the install process went for you?
It was definitely sort of quite a process to sort of work out how to essentially disguise that it's a shipping container. We kind of started by kind of lining the walls with black so that the white of the container walls disappears, and you kind of, hopefully it kind of disappears into the background and the foliage kind of pops forward. And then, it was sort of about putting up a foundation that we can kind of tie all of the foliage to, try and make it look as organic as possible. It's really interesting trying to make something look like it's been there forever, but you're designing it in a way to make, like, it's a very weird process, trying to be like, oh, I don't want this to look too designed, but also like it is very much a piece by piece construction. Yeah.
I mean, it looks like you're going into another world. Like, does it just like a portal through the container doors.
Especially in the evening, I think, like the glow of the ground and like the like lights on the leaves is really beautiful. yeah. Unexpected, actually. Yeah, it's been great.
And what do you plan to do with the foliage once you're done?
Well, the greenery itself, just I guess to go through its natural process. Unfortunately, I don't think I can just put it back in the ground. But there's a lot of people that have put their hand up for some of the soil on the ground. So yeah, that'll be kind of being dispersed to quite a few different homes, so my parents included and some neighbours, and being like, basically like bring a bucket and we'll give you some. So yeah, a few different places. Same with the framing and that's going to definitely be repurposed for new projects. Yeah.
You thinking of putting like regeneration on again in different spaces or in different iterations at all?
Potentially. I think the fact that it's in a shipping container is probably the most exciting thing about it. Almost like, I think, well, maybe not the most exciting thing, but just like the dramatic kind of contrast for where it would normally be. I think if I placed it in a different location, maybe wouldn't have that same effect. So I'm almost happy to leave it here and let it be this. But we'll see, maybe one day. Yeah.
Maybe the actors themselves have, because the actor in there spends a long time just on a computer typing, and in their own space. I wonder if they have ideas about where it may go next, or even what they're working on there may have been influenced by this experience.
Yeah, I think so. Both the actors that I've had in there have been creating some works, doing some writing of like I think Felix in there is like writing a play at the moment, and I'm sure that the environment around him is also influencing that. Same with Anna. She has said, oh, it's just such a serene environment, and like it's the best kind of people watching, you know. So I think it's definitely influenced things going forward. I like to think that about like people going through as well, that hopefully it sort of changed their kind of perception a little bit. Yeah.
Regeneration lives on in like the inspiration that it's given.
Definitely. Yeah, I hope so. Has for me anyway. Yeah, I've already got more ideas. Yeah.
And lovely too that a playwright can write with an audience next to them and around them. Obviously an audience to a different performance, but still aware of people and that, you know, that they're writing for a sort of a live audience. I find that really a fascinating kind of sort of scenario that's set up here as well, even though it's a byproduct of the actual work itself. Yeah,
definitely, I agree. It was when we were sort of deciding exactly what we wanted the role of the actor in the container to be, we definitely wanted it to look out of place. And then the kind of using the laptop and creating was just another beautiful way to actually be like, you know what, you can do some other work in there, but also see how the container kind of generates a different thought process maybe, you know? Like it's been, Yeah,
it really is it is such a New Zealand work. It's this sort of fantasy we have of the New Zealand landscape, the sort of framed tunnel of foliage that leads enticingly to some hike or some view or some experience and you know, so much part of a Kiwi experience. So I find it really fascinating to kind of have it here and have this twist of this kind of slightly unsettling figure, and then the sort of return where you look out on your way out and you see the city framed by it. Well done. It's been an incredible sort of component of the arcade to have it here and have it in dialogue with whatever works around it too.
Yeah, I love how they all work together. It's really gorgeous. It's not something you really think about when you're solely focusing on your own work, but then when you step back and see it all finished and you see everybody else's next to it, it's so cool. Yeah. Thank you.
So I think that's regeneration. Thank you so much, Danny, and for your whole team for working so hard over the last 2 weeks, keeping your
and the next few days.
yeah, and keeping an entire work alive, quite literally, or stop it from dying too fast. Yeah.
That's more like it, I think.
Yeah.
Delay the dying process.
Yeah. And I'm sure you're looking forward to resting a bit and enjoying the fruits of your amazing work. So thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah. So the next work we're going to go and see is The Art Chemist, who's been going for 2 weeks.
think they might be in session.
That's right. I can see that actually the Audrey, who we're meant to be speaking of, is actually just delivering a prescription as we speak. So I think it would be sort of a little bit off to talk to her right now. But we can tell you a bit about this work, because I think it's really important that people know what this work has been doing for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, so we've got the lovely lineup of art chemists who have been just consulting with the public, taking them into these beautiful spaces and then talking to them about sort of either physical or emotional trials and tribulations. And then instead of prescribing medicine, they have been prescribing art around the city. So they've got some amazing lineups of like exhibitions and free public art around the space, and they've got these amazing pill bottles and everything that are from the art chemist, and they write what your prescription is, like go he's gone up onto the roof. Do we know where we post? We've already checked, we're all good here. I know that as soon as I take my phone out to take a picture of the Vogel's bag, we'll be back.
Sorry, lads. If you could just do all of that again, we don't know where they got to, so just...
Okay.
So yeah, we're now going to review The Art Chemist, which is another work which has been here right from the big opening night. This is a group, this is an artist from Christchurch who's working with a group of local artists. And yeah, it's been an incredible piece. I've spoken about it on the radio and a couple of times. What's your sort of synopsis of the work, Eva?
So it's basically a chemist, but for art. So you take your problems, either physical or emotional, to these chemists. They take you in for a consultation, and then they prescribe you a piece of art around the city. Generally, this art is free and easy to interact with. And also there's a little bit of playfulness with it, so they might be asking you to do like funny things around public sculptures, or like sort of like skip around something like 10 times just to sort of like bring that a little bit of joy back into your life and get the sort of effect of art as a healing property, really. That would be my take on it. Yeah, and it's been amazing. So each of the art chemists do have like slightly different takes. So we've got people who do work into like galleries and everything, who are our lovely chemists. And so it's just getting all of those different perspectives and different takes on how art can be healing. And it feels, yeah, really quite important to have that as a feature of the arcade at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the term well-being is used a lot and has been a sort of quite a catchphrase in the last few years. But I think this work kind of asks interesting questions around well-being and the value, the currency of art in that space. And by kind of applying it to another whole process of kind of prescription and sort of the medical sort of healing processes, it helps us kind of appreciate the value of just going and seeing a painting and using that to heal certain parts of yourself. And you know, when I had my consultation with the art chemists, I was concerned about the protest on the other side of town, and they prescribed a beautiful mural which was a collaboration between various communities. And I think, you know, a work like that just proves, you know, an experience like that just proves immediately the kind of value of art that demonstrates different ways of doing things, different ways of seeing things, and just opens our eyes or makes us surprised or happy, makes us think about things. So yeah, I think it's a really valuable work for right now as well.
And it's been like wildly popular. There's been like there's a whiteboard up behind us of the wait times, and it's very rarely at zero. There's been taking the consultations up behind us when the consultation rooms are full. Like it's proven success, really. Like the proof of concept is strong here at the Art Chemist. And here, I think we've got Audrey. No. Nope.
She's so dedicated to her work. And now introducing Audrey Baldwin, who is the lead art chemist. Audrey comes from Ōtautahi with this incredible idea. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your incredible work. Where did you get the idea for it?
To be honest, this work has been kind of bubbling away in the back of my mind for a number of years. A lot of my work has been about well-being, has been about the importance of community and coming together, but it's also been about play and taking things that are familiar but kind of twisting them to make them a bit wacky. I've done other works where called like Cup of Tea and a Lie Down Clinic, where I, which was kind of addressing, I guess, the lack of mental health support and the bureaucratic overcomplications that are in our society. This is a bit of a less cynical work than that. So yeah, I guess a lot of my practice has always been about art and well-being and art bringing people together, yeah, through warm fuzzies.
And you've been dispensing for 2 weeks now.
I have.
How's it been? What has changed or evolved or shifted for you over that time?
I've learnt a lot more about Wellington artworks, which has been wonderful. I guess the biggest change has been becoming more familiar with them, but also like I've had such a wonderful team, and it's been amazing to get to know them and their techniques. What I've definitely found is that I've kind of really, there's some works that have really clung to my heart that I've probably made multiple appearances in my prescriptions. Care to share? My go-to. Okay, so there's a beautiful show on at Jana Miller's Gallery by Erica Van Zon called Deep, Deep Icy Blue, and it's about swimming pools. And when you're talking about emotions and therapy, swimming pools and water, and it's a joyous show. It's got craft elements. It's got something for everyone. So that's been a real go-to. It's there's about 15 different works in there. So yeah, and of course the Lisa Rehana In Pursuit of Venus. It kind of, for me, it satisfies both that quite a meditative, large-scale, absorbing work, but it's also really crunchy, and it's got so much guts and important conceptual things going for it. And it's looking to the future and looking for, improving humanity through critical engagement. Nom, 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 nom.
Lovely selection. Two sort of opposite ends of the...
Oh, yeah.
Have there been any major surprises or how the work's changed? Because they sort of look slightly different,
Mm-hmm. Yes, I didn't expect to be so incredibly busy. I'm loving how popular we've been. Initially, we were going to have 3 chemists going at any one time, but we learnt really quickly that we actually needed a receptionist at all times to help manage the flow of people coming through. People have been really generous, really patient, very understanding when I go over time. So that was a big change. So we usually have one person stationed outside, just welcoming people, giving a brief explanation of what's going on, and giving them a little number, kind of like at the fish and chip shop. That's been kind of the biggest change. Of course, we've also given away hundreds of our recycled bottles, which is nice. There's less things for me to take home. They're looking bare. I think that's been the biggest change. But also it's been really wonderful seeing each chemist kind of get into their own flow. We all have very different techniques. We did some training, there's a framework that I have for each consultation, but everyone has their own kind of vibe to it, and I really love that. You get everyone's different.
And have you sort of found a new appreciation for chemists and doctors and their work, given the sort of experience you've had over the last 2 weeks, or a new understanding?
I think so. I mean, I've developed a real love of the lab coat, not gonna lie. I've just been wearing it all the time. I also quite like the sense of authority. But I think that quite often we forget just how much of emotional well-being is part of health. And what people bring to their doctors, it's never just physical. It's never just one thing. And that's definitely given me. I mean, I kind of already knew that, but I have more of an appreciation for it now.
Yeah, and sort of running over the sort of the time it takes to do a consultation, and you know, being late for your next appointment, and needing a receptionist, and all that sort of structural part of going to a medical sort of establishment that you kind of sometimes get frustrated with, but actually realise they're there for a reason.
Yeah. There's definitely been, you know, the classic, you know, so what's ailing you? And it's the list, you know, oh, well, actually there's this and this and this, because you save up to go to the doctor, right? You're just, I'm going to tick off everything. So it's, you know, it's, you know, my knee's playing up, but also just a strong dose of existential dread. My cat doesn't seem to love me anymore, and I've got a headache, you know. So, but it's a nice challenge to try to find something that alleviates all of that.
What do you prescribe to somebody whose cat doesn't love them anymore?
Well, actually, there's a beautiful artwork. There's one of my favourite artists who is actually, I guess, in the stable at Sweet Gallery upstairs on Cuba Street, and her name's Angela Singer. She makes stunning ceramic works, usually of absurd kitty cats. There's a particular one which is covered in gold leaf, and it's very gracefully arching its leg up and cleaning itself. So I send them to go and appreciate those cats, and to gently be like, you know, cats are, I explain about consent and the honesty of cats, and that I'm sure it won't hate them all the time, but to consider purchasing one of those sculptures if symptoms persist.
Wonderful.
Or bring the cat into the art chemist.
Yeah, bring it to me. Yes, we do welcome furry accomplices. We've had lots of dogs visit, which has been great. Most of them were prescribed long walks along the waterfront. Yes.
And is there any works that you haven't prescribed that you found actually would be detrimental to people's health?
Yes. There have definitely been a few works that, or actually no, there's works that I maybe have someone has said, oh, I feel great, and I'll be like, okay, good, go and look at this work and then come back to me. I definitely think that a great primer for my work is the swinging speakers. Not going to lie, it's really good at building the anxiety levels with the sound. Yeah. So it's actually kind of, it's giving me some good business. But it's also quite nice if people kind of want to be reflective and have something playful, then I'm like, all right. But no, most of the works, you know, even if it's you know, something like In Pursuit of Venus, where there's some really dark elements there, I think it's still got healing in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that person needs to be challenged. Or,
yes. Yeah. Hello, I'd like to go and think about white privilege. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing about art, is it's actually, it's asking us difficult questions, and sometimes that its remedy is for a broader cultural kind of ailment rather than an individual one.
100%. 100%.
And I guess maybe there's space for sort of collective art chemistry.
Yeah, it's been really wonderful. The wide array of people that have come in, the range of vulnerabilities that they've shared, and it's just been a real honour to be here and to share space with people. Yeah.
Oh, it's been fantastic seeing you work. We've been really sort of privileged ourselves to have the art chemist at the Performance Arcade this year. And I'm really sort of grateful for you for proposing it and bringing it here. I hope it continues to dispense around the country for a while to come.
Thank you. I'm working on it. Definitely working on it.
Definitely got more plans for the art chemist and.
Yes. Up next, once Kai and I drive this back down to Otautahi, we are actually heading down to install it in Ashburton for a show. It's part of a group show, the Zonta Female Art Award. So I'm really interested to see how Ashburton receives the art chemist. And I'm hoping to bring it down to Queenstown and maybe further up north as well. You know, it's all kind of plans in motion and conversations beginning.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Audrey.
It's been such a great time.
Yeah. Enjoy your last few subscriptions before we all pack up and have a party. And see you there.
Excellent. I prescribe you both a strong drink, a celebratory beer, and a long lie down.
Thank you.
I will take you up on that.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much. I'll get back to work.
Okay. How much more time do we have before our next music act? A couple of minutes. Wonderful. So yeah, that was Audrey Baldwin and the Art Chemists. Wonderful. And so that concludes our sort of review of some of the works that have been here for 2 weeks.
Yeah, there's also two that are sort of unmanned